They're not going in. Yeah, they want to, but what they want to do and what is practical is two very different things with Na'Vi.
Sometimes, but they make it work in this game.
They're all grouping back up in the mid. Well, almost everybody. Denny's just taking that tier 2 tower solo on the top lane. Prophet Ultimate will slow him down a little bit, but there's a new free wave coming in anyway. In fact, Denny should be taking up that tower a little bit more so he can keep that catapult alive.
He needs some help just taking on this tower, so he's going to get help from Kuroky, it would seem, or he's just going to stand around.
Speaking of Kuro, he just picked up his mech.
Yeah, entire mech now finished up for Na'Vi as well. That's going to help them a lot in this push if they want to crack base against Orange. But we're looking at almost a 20,000 gold and experience lead now in 22 minutes.
Ohio is trying to intercept the creep wave. He's feeling a push to the tier 3 tower coming on this top lane. That's why he's just grabbing it halfway through, and then you see how quickly again.
And that's a Hex completely finished up on Puck.
Oy, that's a lockdown now. We were talking about the possibility of the fact like Puck needed a good start, needed a Blink Dagger to make Prophet fear, even just TPing outside of his base. Like, Prophet split push is great, but he can't TP onto the lanes themselves because Na'Vi's all over them. So the other place like TP is like halfway down here where no one's going to be looking for you.
Look at that
intercept the creep wave.
100 out of 10. That describes his play.
Nice.
We hear the BKB bomb.
Yeah. It's Funix BKB, and Ned just realized Fiend's Grip is completely useless then. And a Force comes in, open wounds on Ned. Nightmare tries to save him from the damage. Prophet goes through, Brainstab quickly, couldn't do it in time. And now a Force wants to go deeper, but with Rage wearing off, he can't come into the range of the Tide Ravage.
We still have Infest available, and Aegis still up on Lifesteal. But they're gonna push on this tower, I feel. They Infest, gonna try and go for a kill if anyone from Orange come near.
They got no Fiend's Grip anyway. They know BKB is at least down for Funnick and the Rage if they get the timing right. Well, they won't have to deal with that one. But with this Aegis up on the Lifesteal, like, even if they do get the kill, it won't be enough. Funnick, whoa, low on life. He doesn't have himself an Aegis, the Immortal, let alone a Lincoln Sphere to protect himself from the damage coming his way.
He does have that BKB on cooldown still as well. A nice deny by KYXY.
Right under their noses. And in the meantime, Ohio's been pushing out that top lane as far out as he can possibly get it. Na'Vi haven't taken a Rax yet, they've just taken the towers, but you know what's going to happen. This. Straight up to high ground. Then he's trying to, well.
Yeah. And he goes.
You think he's going to jump out, and then he Dream Calls and jumps in. Takes out the Leshrac, of Force, just basically piggybacking and enjoying the ride.
He's just sitting in there saying, yeah, you go, Danny.
Yep. Moral support. Of Force is now the mascot of Na'Vi. Since they were little pom-poms and all. And Dendy's going to go in again. Blink Dagger, well, there's your Hex. Up on that. Navorce comes out. Net goes down. KYXY silenced up as well. He's got the Ravage. Now he's going to pop, but Navorce still raged up. And the BKB up on Funnick. Leshrac, even as he comes out of his base, will die almost instantly. GG is the call. 24 minutes, 30 seconds. Na'Vi hit back very, very strongly up against Orange. Taking out game number 2 and forcing us to a third game and final decider to see who will face up against Alliance in the grand final.
And fast games it is. We don't even see heading into the late game, and so aggressive. All these kills. 39 kills in 24 minutes.
Yeah, that's... is that the most amount of kills we've actually seen in a game here, or as far as like time goes?
At least very high.
Either way, it's the most we've been seeing, and it's been an amazing game so far. Of course, I cannot wait for game number 3. What I can't actually wait for is going to be the panel members to see what they had to say about this as well. We haven't actually been told they're good to go just yet, so we assume they're like, yeah, there'll be tons of time.
They probably don't want the mic or the camera.
No, because James hates appearing on camera.
He does. He's kind of shy.
Yeah, that's James.
He tries to stay in the background.
That he does,
That's why he's in the back.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. We keep at the front, at the back. Yeah, man.
In the back. This is the front.
Yeah, that it is. Man, Na'Vi, I can't believe though. I cannot believe that
they're so strong.
Yeah.
They lose the first game and then they just go crush the second game. And now we're gonna see in the third game, does Orange have what it takes? Does Na'Vi have what it takes? First game, I thought that, okay, Orange, they have a really strong commanding lead.
Yep.
But now, Na'Vi with this game, it's about whether Orange can keep it up and do what they did in the first game.
Man, I hope they do. For me, like I love watching Orange play. I love their coordination. Oh, yeah. I'm kind of wanting them to see go down different line though. Like the Tide under Solo, I haven't seen it being that successful so far throughout this competition. Maybe game 3, we'll find out. Now we go to the panel.
So then Na'Vi come out swinging in game number 2 and take the victory, taking us up to a 1-1. I've got lots of notes about the game, but I think also Na'Vi played great, but I have to say Orange were very kind of stuttery and hesitant in some of their team fights and decision making. They hurt themselves a lot more than Na'Vi sometimes beat them.
And I think it started right from the get-go. We've been praising Extinct a lot, especially for his Chen and his Visage play, but his Leshrac was really not up to par this game. They lost the first blood and another kill because he missed a stun. And again, when they got back in the lane, he missed yet another stun, and that really cost him big time. I think that was the most grave mistake that just formed the game from there.
Yeah, the tri-lane was hugely important for both teams, and as you mentioned, that did happen. Ben, what was relevant to you?
I don't particularly like Mushi in the carry role. I think he really sets the pace of the game for Orange. If he's on a farmer hero like Alchemist, they don't really have too many heroes moving around making plays happen, and here we get a look at the triple lane. I think when Mushi is in mid instead of the Tidehunter, then he put out so much pressure on Dendi from level 1, from level 2, but Alchemist, he needs a Midas or Battle Fury, that's usually the typical build, or Shadow Blade until they start fighting. And you don't want to start taking fights 15-20 minutes in against Na'Vi. They need to do what they did in game 1 and just constantly take a lot of fights. Also, they were really ultimate dependent. They had KYXY with the Ravage, a really long cooldown, the Fiend's Grip on the Bane, but a hero like Lifestealer and Crystal Maiden, they're just good to go. Weaver too, they can just constantly throw out pressure, and that's why we saw so many kills. And Na'Vi really abused the fact that they were so, their team fight was so dependent on the Ravage.
Yeah, and Bruno, I want to come to you. I've got my rambles in a bit.
Rambles?
I got rambles, yeah, because I made notes and stuff. I've not got a stat book. I've got a strat book.
Oh wow!
It's gonna publish it.
Can I get a copy?
Yes.
Thank you. I feel this is kind of a revenge for Kuroki. He also picked Naga Siren only once in this tournament so far. That was in the loss versus Orange in the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. That was the game where nothing was working for Na'Vi at all. They had also Mirana on Fanic, and Hvos was playing the the Weaver. Didn't work for them. Right now they got the Naga Siren, but they adjusted their picks. I think there were a few, I would say, premature ravages from Tidehunter, a little bit of panic from the side of Orange. KYXY. I'd rather see him in heroes that have a little bit more impact. Again, the Weaver, we saw the Slardar. Maybe this initiator role is more suited for someone like Net or Extinct. And
Are you serious though? Because who was playing the Magnus last night?
Yeah, it was KYXY.
So, I mean, he's either hit or miss with that hero, because we saw him with an RP yesterday as well.
But you can compare a hero like Tidehunter and the Magnus, because, they both have a very good ultimate, but with Tidehunter you just walk in and pass.
It wasn't that good of a pick, though, I don't think.
Yeah, I think
Lifestealer doesn't care about Ravage, and Puck, we saw Denny face shift a couple of them, too.
It was for the Weaver, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because the Tidehunter, if you do manage to hit a decent Ravage on the Weaver, he's pretty low HP throughout the whole, up until the mid-stage of the game anyway. You can actually pick him off pretty quickly.
Why didn't they just use something like Slardar, like they used early in the tournament, though?
I think that could have been great, but
yeah.
It was actually what they did in the game 1. They won against Na'Vi in the upper bracket, was that they had the Tidehunter against Na'Vi's Weaver, and they won that game. But in this game, I still feel the draft wasn't as equal as it was in that game. They had a Puck and a Lifestealer, and there's nothing better than a Puck Nax Bomb. It's just one of the best combos in the game early on.
And you're right. It was Na'Vi actually had a Tidehunter, and they went up against Orange Esports Weaver, and they did beat Orange. So maybe Orange were looking to kind of
and the other way around.
Their way. Yeah,
it doesn't work versus Lifestealer though. Lifestealer absolutely not.
So I mean, in terms of what I felt was happening, KYXY mid lane did fantastically. In terms of his CS was great. The biggest problem he needed to get his mech before Puck got Blink Dagger and needed to contribute to the top lane of the fight. The fact that he wasn't able to contribute to the tri-lane when it needed help, and he actually got picked off mid, it delayed his mech and he didn't get it until the end. And you need that mech when you go up against a Puck Lifestealer Bomb, because it just nullifies a certain amount of damage when you're silenced and allows you to hit the Ravage, which I think was important. So the mid lane was quite unfortunate that he had a lot of pressure on him, but it all spawned from the top lane. The Alchemist, Bane and Leshrac versus the Weaver, Crystal Maiden and Naga. Naga's a fantastic pickup as a support. I spoke to Purge about this. He said, Naga has like 6 base armor. If you put a Stout Shield on, he's one of the tankiest supports in the game. But also, just because of Riptide, he's able to lower the armor of the opposing carry, and Alchemist starts with a very low armor count. So it was a really nice kind of lane. Crystal Maiden's very strong. And as soon as that went bad, despite Alk, Bane and Leshrac should be very powerful with being able to set up stuns and combos, they needed to pull the Nature's Prophet over Ohio. And that's, to me, that's where it just kind of fell down, because the mid and the off lane, because of what happened on the tri lane, they really did need to rotate round. And I felt like the Nature's Prophet, I don't like not going Midas, but even if you just get like phase boots or something, when you join the tri lane with phase boots, you can destroy a Crystal Maiden. Like, you should be able to take that Crystal Maiden out of every tri lane fight if you actually have someone else coming in. But the start was so good. It was a nightmare for Orange, and it just fell apart. Like, it could have gone so differently. If Tide got his mech, tri lane was even, Nature's Prophet had farm, that could have been an even game, because I personally think it was a great lineup from both teams. They were my rambles. That make sense?
Yet again, it makes sense. Have you taken some extra good medicine this morning, or what?
I'm still sick. This is like the biggest tournament for me in esports, and it's like I had to host the whole thing sick. I'm sorry I sound like DJ Wheat, by the way. But I'll be better. I'll be better soon. So game number 3, Na'Vi still have a chance to go in the grand finals as well as Orange. Orange are the ones that I feel are taking the pressure like too much. Like, I don't feel they're playing as confident just from that last game.
I hope they don't repeat what happened in the match between them in the winner bracket, because then they're completely gonna lose it now and go into game 3 and just completely mess up the draft and just have Na'Vi stomp all over them if we see a rerun of that game. So I hope Orange is gonna bring the same game we saw in game 1 and throughout yesterday, and I think they're capable of doing so. I think maybe Mushi realized this draft wasn't as good as it could be. I gave them Puck and Lifestealer. Now they have the Weaver and the Siren as well. I'm just going to go with Alchemist and see if I can salvage this game, or we just take it into game 3.
Yeah.
I mean, this pretty much is playing out almost exactly like game 1 or the first series that we had. And I hope that Orange doesn't mess up their draft like before. They had Weaver, Windrunner, Sand King, Lone Druid, and Bounty Hunter. And just from the get-go, that lineup sounds awful. And I don't know whether it was just Orange taken out of their game, but I hope it doesn't happen to them today. They really need a solid draft if they want to take down Na'Vi.
Yeah, all those heroes, they just didn't work together, like in terms of Orange's last pickup. And speaking of heroes, here's one. His name's Pyrion Flax, and he's looking at other heroes on cards.
Hey, what's up? This is Pyrion Flax. I managed to acquire an attendee pass today, which means I get a barcode that's attached to my Steam account. Sorry, I'm going to get Cyborg Matt. Other way, Blitz. Matt, could you beat me? And now we're going to go find a computer that's got Steam, and I'm going to activate this, and it'll create an in-game item, and I'm going to sign my Shagbark Courier, Cyborg Matt. I've got my card beeped by Puppy and by Cyborg Matt, so now I'm going to get the items created by Ben. So here are the passes, Ben.
Man, pressure's on.
Go beep.
There's one.
The Kill Stealer, a rare sniper's gun. Go on in. The Sharpshooter's Pauldrons. Yeah. And Skins of the Incubus. Okay, this is Pyrion Flax again in the secret shop with Arsenio. Arsenio, how's it going?
Pretty good. We got a busy day here.
Yeah, I can see it. Always seems to be busy in the secret shop. Now, I spent a load of money here, as you well know, but I didn't get any beeps because I only just had a card activated. Can we see what happens when I get beeped?
Sure thing. Here we go.
Fluted Guard of the Moonrider. One. Bone Slayer. Is that for Skeleton King? Oh, I hope so. Mask of Inscrutable Zeal. Tasty. That's good.
Here's the last one.
Okay. Last one. Sparrowhawk Bow. Rare. Nice. Good beeping, dude. That was awesome. And I also got some cards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So let me check out my items here. Let's see. I think you get 2 trading cards and an item. I've got 3 Oski Dragons. Oh man, I'm starting to sense a pattern here. Okay. Oh. Well, guys, right. This one will be different. Volvo, please fix. This is the RNG screwing me over. This is like when you're Axe and you get no spins, and then you get 5 at once when it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Oh yes, we got a Meepo and a Rubik. It's Oski. Okay, so now we've got into the other batch. Oh, 2 Oskis. Oh wait, no. I'm going crazy. It's another blooming Meepo. Right. We're going to go find people upstairs who've got trading cards to swap, because I have a ton of Elder Titans, a ton of Centaurs, and just all the Oskis you could ever need. And there's a Greevil on a flying carpet that I really want. I'm willing to trade quite a bit to get one. So yeah, wish me luck.
It's hard to imagine. He's a grown man. He seems very excited about those, but we're excited as well because we're going back into game number 3. They're already in the Bantam picks, guys. Just quickly, all your rares, who are they on and why?
I think Na'Vi will take this again. They're going to go to the finals. They know how to get into the finals at TI, so they're going to make it.
I'm with Bruno on this. I definitely think of the experience and of coming off this win. I think Na'Vi has the mentality to go into the grand finals now.
I think Na'Vi, because their support players are way stronger without Extinct on the Visit or Chen.
Oh, I'm going to say it's Na'Vi's series to lose, to kind of agree with you, but not predict who's going to win. It really is. And this game means so much. It means you're in the grand finals, and it's also one map, which is a difference. It's going to earn you $300,000. I can't even imagine playing for that much money. So let's send it back to the hall. Best of luck to both teams. Game 3, Na'Vi versus Orange.
Orange versus 2011 international champions, Na'Vi.
Welcome back, everybody, here into the hall, the Battle Royal Hall for game number 3. Na'Vi going up against Orange. And man, this is down to the wire. The winner of this game, everything you've done through the preliminaries, everything that happened through the playoffs, it comes down to one game to put you into the grand final.
One game, all that pressure now being applied. It comes down to one single game. Either team to take it will be the winner and gonna head in to the grand final. And we see the draft. And looking over to what Orange did, they banned out the Wisp as well as the Chen in the first phase. Not gonna give the Chen towards Puppey this game either. And then banning out Enchantress in second phase as well. They picked up Darkseer and OD. And over on Na'Vi.
Just that Darkseer and OD together. The Darkseer, like, you know I've been hoping for it. Through game 1, through game 2, I was really hoping that Orange would take up that Darkseer. It's just been absolutely superb in their lineup. It gave us the highlights from yesterday as well. And then you're going to do it with an OD. We're looking at mass team fight here already from Orange Esports. If we get another big team fight controller, you add a Jakiro in the mix of all of this, you could just obliterate anybody. Of course, Puck and Lifestealer, very hard heroes to lock down. That's the reason why they picked him up in the last game, and probably the reason why we see him picked up now.
That is true, but I want to see more from Orange than only the Brute teamfight lineup, because we see them play so amazing as soon as they get some stun combinations going. They don't have a single stun yet. Of course, Darkseer is the best hero to combine up with some stunners, but they still have to pick them up. And
surprisingly, Puppey didn't actually ban out those stunners. They ban out the Weaver, they ban out the Naga. There's still the Alchemist quite easily in the pool for Orange. Now, if they want to go massively greedy, we get Alchemist, we get a Jungler. They've already banned out Chen and Enchantress. You want to add an Enigma into the Darkseer combo as well. You're getting a huge amount of money coming in, and then you've still got a hard carry to put into all of that.
Yeah, and we now see Na'Vi. They have a nice lineup here with Lifesteal, Puck, and the Nyx Assassin. So 2 good heroes for Lifesteal to just go taxi with, and also really good pickoffs with those spells, silence and stuns. And of course the Vendetta coming from Nyx is so strong.
Yep. It's good initiation, good combinations. That's the way Na'Vi want to roll this. They use their strengths, which is their synergy with their pairs, with their players.
On screen we see Orange all huddled up and trying to think about what they want to pick up for their next 3 heroes. Just taking it one at a time.
It's probably that time where you're like, well, do we just pick up all of our cores right now? Like, when we know we're missing a carry, they're not really going to ban. Like, it's mushy. Like, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
And then you're like, so, oh, we can pick up our supports right now at least, because there's still 2 of those left to pick up here for Orange. So that keeps it pretty open. And maybe also you say, well, if it is a Jakiro, then Na'Vi might start to worry and say, well, maybe we need a little bit more control when it comes to these team fights.
Maybe, but I would still, even as you say, they need a carry, I would still bet my rares that this is going to be Mushy playing the OD. Like, it's not it's not a super flexible hero that can do such awesome plays in the laning stage, but later on into the game, into the team fights, you can really have big impact. And this is a hero that Mushy has played before, of course. It feels like every hero in Dota is a hero that Mushy has played before. He's so very versatile, this player.
That he is. Bane will be the selection here from Orange, so we get single focus. They could have gone for the full team fight, but at the end of the day, you also need to make sure you can control up that Lifestealer. If you do see even like the elements of an aggressive tri-lane, you've got to make sure you lock it down very early on. Or if you want to try it yourself, you've got to lock it down very early on.
Yeah, I like the Bane pickup here. It's good. They don't have any combination yet. I mean, they have the OD and Darkseer, which is okay. You still kind of hit everyone without that vacuum when you play on OD. And Bounty Hunter coming out from Na'Vi. They're looking for kills and kills alone, man.
That gives us our 3 cores, but it gives us a lot of invis as well. You're moving around with Bounty, with Nyx Assassin. I kind of almost want to see Orange pick up that Slider again and go with that combination with the Darkseer. So then they've got the invis reveal.
It's decent to reveal invis with it, but the biggest part is how is it going to fit and how is it going to work. Of course, it could work really well. We saw them play Darkseer along with Slardar before.
Yep.
But in that game, they had even more lockdown in the AoE. Now, OD and Bane don't have amazing lockdown.
Yep.
But Bane was necessary. Against Puck, against Lifesteal, it's necessary to have that single target lock.
So Mushi's 4th pickup. Do we see Orange's last core? Or do we get to see him go into their last support hero to give us our lanes? And as far as Na'Vi goes, like Na'Vi, we got our 3 cores here. They got 1 more support hero to pick up. It could be anything. It could be giving a mana. It could be doing whatever they want. They got a lot of options. They got a lot of options up their sleeve.
Definitely true. Coddle would be decent, but they might head into something a little bit more forward up front as well. But fighting Na'Vi head on from Orange is going to be dangerous.
Ooh, we're going to get the SK for
Gonna
Orange.
go for the Sand King.
So we're looking for Vac into a Burrow Strike, combining up with the Epicenter and the OD Ultimate. Those 3 abilities just by themselves is scary enough. But the level of control to get Na'Vi into that kind of position, I'm not feeling it yet from Orange. Like, you got Lifesteal who's just going to rage and run himself around. You've got Puck as well. Very difficult to hold in one position. Nyx Assassin, you want to hold him. Spike Carapace, Bounty Hunter, got Invis to run away. There's a lot of different things here from the Na'Vi lineup that's going to make Orange's team fight very difficult to execute.
Yeah, I feel the same because we saw them play a beautiful Darkseer, but that was in a game where the enemy was not so well prepared for that combination. Only having a BKB on a Dragon Knight was all they had.
Yep.
But in this game, everyone sort of has an innate survivability against such combinations. Nyx, even with the Carapace, would be amazing. So yeah, definitely I feel it's harder for them in this game. The pressure is on both these teams.
Pressure's on Mushi right now. He's got 1 last ban to do. He's going to into his extra time for it, 20 seconds, and he takes out the Rubik. So he's a little bit worried with all these different things, and straight away, Poppy says, I will take the Enigma.
Enigma it is. So we have Nyx Assassin as the main support and Enigma as the second support coming out from Na'Vi.
It's around this time you kind of wish you didn't ban out the Rubik, but it's also around this time that you kind of wish like you'd have an extra support hero as your last one as opposed to a core, which is what Orange is looking for. They're looking for the number one role hero right now.
Exactly. They need to pick up their carry to deal the most amount of damage. Of course, OD can be amazing at dealing some nice damage, especially laning up against the Puck in the early game. It's not too hard for him.
Yeah.
But later in the game, even like a Nyx Assassin, once we hit late game, that mana burn has really no cooldown and can just be spammed on OD over and over again and deals tremendous amount of damage as well.
All right, looks like Orange have decided what they want. They agree, and it's going to be Windrunner, our lovely red-headed lady. Will be coming in as the last one, being played by KYXY as well. Which means Ohio will get the Darkseer, and as you will predict it, it is going to be Mushi up on that OD.
Some crazy picks, as always, coming out from Orange. Of course, most of it was standard up till we saw the Sand King into a Windrunner as a core hero and not even as an offlaner.
It's a little bit more old school. I remember it was actually G1 League during the group stages there. It was Invictus Gaming that were running the combination. They ran SK, which was Chuan, and they ran it with a Keeper of the Light as well as a Windrunner. As far as like range damage, ability to dive on towers, it was actually quite effective.
Yeah, it can be quite effective, but we'll see how it works out in this game. One thing that it does provide is some nice long-range disable. Can be really nice against this type of lineup that Na'Vi has, because Na'Vi, they want to run in really close, up and personal on Orange. And if you can just throw out that lockdown from far away, that can really work in your favor.
Well, let's get ourselves into it. So we'll run through our lineups.
Some cheers for the teams they're fighting.
Starting on the Radiant side here in the last game of one of these teams, Path of TI3. We'll go through Na'Vi. So Horvost will be taking up that role as the life stealer. Puts Kuro as the next assassin. Puppey will be taking up the role as the Enigma. And that leaves Funnick on his off lane. One of his most successful heroes here at the International. And then Dendi will be there as the Puck, heading down to the bottom lane. So we're going to mix it up a little bit here. So Vorst will take up that mid role instead, and they have to babysit Puck a lot more. As far as that bottom lane goes, Orange is moving in force. We've got Mushi coming down on that OD Ohio. Here is the Darkseer. Extinct as the SK, KYXY as Windrunner, and then Net as the Bane. And that is our lineup for Orange.
Yeah, that is Orange and Na'Vi just mind gaming a little bit with the lanes here, but it's a good decision. You don't want to have a solo Puck mid against OD, especially as we saw in game 1 when Dendi got a little bit shut down in the early game. It got so hard for Na'Vi to play out of it. They want to have a good start on this man once again.
Yeah, especially the option they had to go for. Lifestealer had to go middle. And
Exactly.
Orange are going to now split themselves out into their lanes, and we will see who ends up where. Orange found absolutely no one. They left no wards behind as well, so it's going to be an abandonment at the bottom lane. Unless, are they actually going to leave
The battle
KYXY
begins.
as well as Extinct down here? Looks like KYXY might actually try and stay. He's going to stay for the rune, at least.
No,
And maybe more.
It's going to be a double lane down there, possibly.
Yeah, it's going to be a dual lane bottom here with Windrunner and SK.
Safe lane Darkseer up against the Gondar, or the Bounty Hunter, of course.
He's going to hate that.
He's Dota 1 name. Yeah, he kind of hates it. He has a lot of regen though. And if you get some nice last hits in the first few, in the first 2 waves, then he can do okay on that lane.
So Mushi will find a Vorst here in the middle lane, and that's actually a really good time for Extinct to try and gank him up. He's having a bit of a look around. He blocked up the easy camp, so Puppey doesn't have a straight go for that one. He will be already pulling out in the other lanes, while Ohio puts the Iron Shield up and himself wants to be as aggressive directly towards Funnick as possible. But Extinct, he is really being an absolute frustration for Puppey if he won that easy camp. The Puppey isn't even moving out that far. He's already feeling the fact that they're missing heroes on the top lane. The Darkseer is up there, so they've got to be a little bit more cautious about where he is. So he's back deeper, and Extinct, well, that's a lot of conversions. He's going to be really careful about that. In fact, it's a huge amount of damage you can pull out from conversions.
Stealer walking down. He doesn't have slow. He has it soon. He wants to skill it up.
Yeah, he got Feast instead.
Yeah.
He has 1 level, but he decided not to put it into anything.
Yeah, that big clap, of course, the creeps clap when there's 3 units
The
near
funny
them.
thing is, even if he leveled it up, he wouldn't have had mana. He has 104 in his mana pool, and he needs 110
Yeah,
to actually use the open wounds.
not enough.
The downside about going up against someone like an OD. And this will now be the full tri lane on the bottom. In fact, Net cuts through the tree line so he can catch up to Dendi. Extinct, got to get himself in range with this Burrow Strike, and then times it up right. There's your power shot. Dendi's in trouble. Orb, phase shift. They need to follow him. Windrun's there to do so, and the damage is not enough.
Oh, they don't commit.
They don't. Even with the Windrun, they didn't want to go in that deep.
Orange could definitely have gone, top lane, just looking at the trade.
Yeah, Funnick has got to be careful coming in that close. But he's to the south. He knows he can throw the thing out. And that's exactly what he'll do.
A little bit too much fear there from the Orange tri lane. They could definitely have walked in, but they didn't know exactly where the Nyx was, and it could have been so dangerous if Windrun did dive too deep and get stunned.
No reason to completely overcommit. As we've been saying before, this is the last game of one of these teams, and both these teams don't want it to be theirs. Speaking of Ohio now on the top lane, really getting underneath this tower. Funnick, even Invis is still taking up that damage, but when Ohio can't see him, he won't keep committing like he wants to. Also notice there's been a change up, and Puppey has gone into the Dire side jungle, because there's just no way he can stay inside his own jungle.
Yeah, gonna farm up the enemy jungle for a while now, and that will give him easier time just ganking from there.
It's going to be a good gank too when they come for Ohio, because he's going to be the one who's going to get in trouble faster. Because he's sitting low on life every time he rises down. Funny, got to wait for the salve to pop up, but you've got Kuro as well as Puppey rotating around looking for the gold. They're going to find
be a
it.
target.
And that bottle arrived just at the right time too, and now he's backing up. Ohio's getting himself out. Obviously, he's very aware. There's a dire ward already.
The dire ward saw him, so there was no real danger or anything going on there. And bottom lane, we just see KYXY farming quite freely as Dendi only has 3 for free in CS against 16 and 7. So KYXY getting the better farm down here.
You got 16-11 up on Mushi, up against a Vorst who's got 9 for 3. This is the problem of going up against no D.
The farm is going the way of Orange on every single lane.
Highest playing around with a couple of conversions. Now he's going to come down for Kuro. Extinct. He's going to get that burrow strike out, and Kuro as well. Still no first blood, but it looks like this should be it. There's maybe the Spike Carapace stun slowing him down. Conversions trying to block his path. But Kuro, he's still being stunned up by that Malefice, but Ohio gets in close enough. First blood is spilled.
And Ohio picks it up. Some big gold going the way of him.
That is the best start. After Orange, like what happened to them on that top lane before, they are going to be so happy that they're the ones that get to claim the first blood. Even if it's not a critical hero, it's still first blood nonetheless.
It is. And mid, we just see this